Enigmatis ended on something of a cliffhanger. The evil preacher had escaped, leaving the detective to chase him to another town, where he would doubtless use his hypnotic church bell to restart his serial killing. To be honest, it wasn't a fantastic ending. Enigmatis had been primarily notable for a super solid and surprisingly dark narrative, but I didn't see any logic or value in playing the same story over again. So I was understandably delighted to discover that Enigmatis 2, The Mists of Ravenwood, had something entirely different in store for me. Picking up 2 years after the first game, Enigmatis 2 offers a whole new setting, an entirely new villain, as well as the return of a familiar threat. More importantly, it explores and expands the mythology of the first game in some of the most interesting ways I've seen in a hidden object game. Now, on to the hidden object criteria. Almost not at all. The game is set in a long-abandoned tourist park, a territory long since reclaimed by nature. Every time a hidden object scene pops up, it's in the ruins of a tableau, or deep in a lost catacomb. The developers have strewn logical items in insane locations, and the result is a series of beautifully crafted hidden object scenes. There's a total of 1 questionable screen in the entire game, a single desk location near endgame that has a little bit of size and gravity cheating. But this one flaw is overwhelmed by how massively right the developers get the rest of the hidden object screens. It's a solid mix here. There's some 12-1 screens, a number of assembly screens, and even a couple of mini-puzzles. There's a good balance between logical and illogical, and the assembly screens are some of the best I've ever encountered. By far the most impressive is one sequence in which the player is asked to use a black light to find invisible ink symbols scattered on pieces of paper, then use those glowing symbols as a guide to reassemble the code sheet they're drawn on. I can easily overlook a couple of generic 12-1 screens if the rest are going to be this detailed and inspired. It's not just coherent, this is one of the strongest stories I've ever encountered in a hidden object game. The various elaborate locks and hidden codes make perfect sense in the context of a holiday park that has been redesigned by a murderous madman. And even the beyond objects that the player can seek out for an achievement made perfect sense as part of the narrative, instead of just looking for a bonus transforming item with no connection to the story. The player is tasked with catching glimpses of the illusions that the villain has been using to lure people to their deaths. It's rare to see a developer put this level of care into every aspect of gameplay, and Artifacts Mundi should be lauded for that accomplishment. Enigmatis' great addition to the traditional HOG structure makes a return appearance here, and the developers have outdone themselves in improving it. Digging out pieces of evidence and figuring out how they fit into the big picture of the case is always going to be a satisfying experience, and this is one of the best examples of that mechanic I've ever encountered. Enigmatis 2 also swipes a key element from Nightmares from the Deep, a door that has to be unlocked by finding metal tokens, and a mysterious figure who offers a bit of backstory with every piece of the lock the player turns over. This is one of the thematically darkest hidden object games I've ever played. There's mass murder, demon worship, psychological torture. It goes even further than the previous game in the series, and that was already a flat-out horror title. Really, Enigmatis 2 improves on the first game in every way. The graphics are gorgeous, the story has a number of big surprises, and the presentation is top-notch. I can't say enough good things about Enigmatis 2's story, though. From its creepy opening to the thrilling conclusion and satisfying epilogue, it impressed me more than anything else out there in the hidden object game genre. There are horrific discoveries, dramatic battles, tense set-piece puzzles, basically everything anyone could want from a graphic adventure. I'd recommend this hidden object game to anyone, and I'm eagerly looking forward to playing the next game in the series. This review is based on a copy of the game provided by the developer. If you'd like to watch the playthrough that led to this review, just click on the rectangle that allows you to do that. Until next time, au revoir.